What does the new crop marketing year hold for growers? The USDA recently held its annual Ag Outlook Forum with its first projections. I asked an expert what his big takeaways were from the forum.
The big takeaway was there wasn't a lot of surprises. Most of the information we got from the Outlook Forum was very consistent with what a lot of the private traders and analysts had kind of been expecting. There's always a few little adjustments, but in a big picture sense, it was pretty close to what everybody was anticipating.
And what did the corn report look like?
So specifically in corn, the two big things people are talking about right now is an increase in planted acreage, which was expected. It was just a matter of how large was that increase going to be. And again, USDA came up with the numbers that are very similar to what the private analysts were expecting. The other, I guess, a little bit of a surprise was the increase in the trendline yield. So we're using an average yield that's been adjusted for technology. But every year, the USDA uses a 30-year average as that baseline. But they also adjusted up and down just a little bit based on planting progress. And so given the information we had, I do anticipate that USDA is looking at a slightly faster planting progress this last spring because of the dry weather we have in the Western Corn Belt.
And how about soybeans?
Soybeans, I think a lot of the analysts were expecting a slight increase in planted acreage for soybeans. USDA didn't give us that. The other thing that was an adjustment on the demand side was an increase in crush demand. Pretty much expected given the growth in the crush industry. We're looking at plants that are expanding their existing capacity and some new ones coming online.
And were there any surprises with wheat?
When you work the math backwards, it looks like there might be a slight increase in spring wheat seedings relative to last year. Fortunately, we are seeing a slight increase in expectations for exports. And that was one of the things this year that's really been hurting us in the wheat market is because of the higher prices, our export levels are down a bit. And so USDA is giving a kind of a recovery in some of those export pace, which should be hopefully beneficial for pricing.
And why is this outlook important?
So this is really the first time that USDA comes out with their projections for the new crop marketing year. So for the 2023-24 marketing year. Now, most of that information is based off of historical relationships and cost of production. So a lot of it's based on mathematical forecasting and what we typically see farmers doing. We really won't get any formal information about what farmers are expecting to seed until that March 31 prospective plantings report. So coming up now in the beginning of March, farmers will be getting surveyed on what their planting intentions are. We know it can change over time, but at least that'll be farmer-based information instead of information based off of, again, the historical relationships.
According to USDA, farm income and net farm cash incomes were records in 2022 and are likely to decline. However, it's still expected to be an above-average year.
Thanks for watching AgweekTV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.